When Ryan and I broke up, I thought that would be the last time I'd ever have to think about him. Our relationship had ended in the kind of betrayal that leaves you shaking, the kind where every memory you once treasured suddenly curdles into something painful. Ryan had cheated. Not just once, not even just a fling, but over the course of months with someone from his gym. I found out in the most humiliating way possible. An accidental text meant for her. My phone buzzed one night while I was making dinner, and when I opened the message, it wasn't for me at all. It was him confirming plans, telling her he missed her already, even though we had just spent the whole weekend together. At first, I thought it was some sort of sick joke. But no, as the pieces fell into place, I realized it wasn't just the physical betrayal that cut me open. It was the months of deception. The casual "I love you" texts he'd send me while sneaking off to meet her. The smiles, the reassurances, the little rituals that made me feel safe, all of it was a mask. When I confronted him, he didn't deny it. He didn't beg, didn't even apologize in a way that mattered. Instead, he shrugged. "I didn't think you'd find out." That was his defense. Not guilt, not regret. Just an admission that he had only ever been sorry about the possibility of being caught. That was it for me. I walked away. I blocked his number, deleted every photo, packed his belongings into boxes, and left them on the curb. I wasn't interested in closure. I wasn't interested in working through it. I wanted him gone. The weeks after were some of the hardest of my life. I had invested 4 years into that man. We had lived together, dreamed together, made plans for a future. And suddenly, it was all ashes. My friends rallied around me, my family kept me busy, but the nights were the worst. When it was just me and my thoughts, I pictured him happy with her. Working out together, going to brunch, meeting each other's families. The idea of him thriving while I was barely holding it together was unbearable. But then, something bizarre happened. 5 months later, my best friend Sophia told me she had run into Ryan at the grocery store. Only he wasn't with her. He wasn't with the woman he had cheated on me with. Instead, he was with Ethan. Now, Ethan wasn't just anyone. He was a mutual friend of ours, someone I had known for years. Charming, generous, effortlessly good at everything. He had been in a long-term relationship that ended around the same time mine did. We weren't super close, but we had shared countless inside jokes at parties, always exchanged hugs when we saw each other. He was the kind of person you could trust. And now, apparently, he was helping Ryan. Sophia said she overheard them in the coffee aisle. Ryan was complaining about needing a place to crash. Ethan, ever the good guy, was offering him his guest room. I felt sick. Of all the people in the world, Ethan was the last person I thought would extend a hand to my cheating ex. Why him? Why help Ryan of all people? At first, it felt like betrayal on top of betrayal. I wanted to call Ethan, demand to know what he was thinking. But then I reminded myself, Ryan wasn't my problem anymore. I didn't have to involve myself. So, I let it go. Weeks passed, and through the grapevine, I started hearing updates. Ryan had moved in with Ethan temporarily, just until he got back on his feet. The other woman had dumped him not long after I left. Apparently, she'd gotten tired of his constant need for attention and his inability to commit. I'd be lying if I said that didn't make me smirk. But Ethan was determined to help. He introduced Ryan to new people, vouched for him when he applied for a new job, even took him out to networking events. From the outside, it looked like Ryan had landed on his feet again. But cracks began to show almost immediately. A friend of mine worked at the company Ryan had joined. She told me he was already missing deadlines, showing up late, and making excuses. The same patterns that had driven me insane during our relationship were now bleeding into his professional life. By month 3 of living with Ethan, their friendship was already strained. Ryan had a habit of borrowing things without asking. Clothes, gadgets, even Ethan's car once. He'd leave messes in the kitchen, skip his share of the bills, and throw parties when Ethan was away. I didn't need to hear it from Ethan directly. I saw the signs on social media. At first, Ethan's posts were full of group outings and casual dinners. Slowly, they shifted. Fewer pictures with Ryan. More cryptic captions about learning who your real friends are, about never ignoring red flags. And then one day, a mutual friend sent me a screenshot of Ethan's Instagram story. It was a photo of 2 suitcases by a front door. The caption read, "Sometimes helping someone just teaches you why you had boundaries in the first place." Ryan had officially worn out his welcome. The fallout was brutal, at least for him. He lost the job Ethan had helped him get after blowing off a major project. He couldn't afford rent anywhere decent, so he moved into a dingy apartment with random roommates. His car broke down and stayed that way for months because he couldn't afford to fix it. And socially? People stopped inviting him anywhere. And me? I stayed quiet. I didn't gloat. I didn't reach out. I didn't even so much as like a post about it. Because here's the thing, I didn't have to lift a finger. The universe was doing all the work for me. The man who once looked me in the eye and said, "I didn't think you'd find out," was now burning bridges left and right. All on his own. Every opportunity Ethan gave him, every ounce of support, he squandered. Months later, I bumped into Ethan at a barbecue. We exchanged a polite hello, and eventually, the conversation drifted to Ryan. "I thought I could help him," Ethan admitted, shaking his head. "But some people, they don't want to change. They just want someone to clean up the mess for them." I smiled. Not in a mean way, but in that bittersweet, I know exactly what you mean way. Because it wasn't about revenge anymore. It wasn't about getting the last word. It was about knowing that I had made the right choice by walking away and watching the truth reveal itself without my interference. Ryan had always been his own worst enemy. I had just been too close to see it. Ethan's experience was proof of what I already knew. The man I thought I loved was incapable of appreciating the people who stood by him. And the most satisfying part? This time it wasn't me picking up the pieces. It wasn't me giving him another chance. It wasn't me sacrificing my peace to hold him together. I got to live my life, focus on myself, and let karma do the heavy lifting. The universe has a funny way of balancing the scales. And for the first time in a long time, I felt like I had truly, finally moved on.